All right, shout out to Taki for putting me on to this. He has a P6. Obviously, he's a Koala user too. So I have these samples, the four I used in the previous video with these drum breaks, the same four that are here. And you can actually use the MIDI feature here and use your P6 device and send the MIDI to the device. So if you set it for channel 15 in your P6, hit shift menu and set it for the, where is it? The S channel. Just make sure it's set on 15, right? Set your BPM. You probably want to set the BPM in here because this doesn't set the BPM for you. It will play, but it doesn't set the BPM. So make sure your BPM is set there. And now if you hit the keyboard, you can play all your notes from bank A all the way through your banks across the keyboard. There's nothing on these. These are blank, but watch. I have a kick on B. So see, it's starting to play those samples. So you have pretty much, if you think about it, you need 12 keys in an octave. So that's 2 banks. So this is bank A and B. This will be C and D. So 4 octaves, pretty much you can cover all your banks right there. And then you could just put your samples, do your sequence in here. Now, the only catch is where are you going to record it to? Because at the current moment, while Koala could act as that MIDI controller and it can do it, I can't get the sound to come back into Koala. So, I can, but in order to do that, because I don't have an audio device hooked to it, I would have to use something like this, where I've showed you guys in the past, where you have a headphone out and you have an in, and then you can send it back into the iPad to be able to capture the sound. That's the only other option at this current moment that I can think of. You can listen on this out. Again, you still got to better send it back in to capture the sound. What's interesting about this, though, is you can right? Oh, I got to turn that keyboard off. And if you hit normalize, right? So it's easy to do that. But when you want the sound to come from here back into here, that's a whole different story, because now you need something like this to be able to send it in and out, or an audio interface so that the sound can travel to and from. I think this might work well in AUM, but I don't see it working well strictly in Koala. I haven't figured it out because I don't think the audio can go in and out. You can't select, for instance, you can select the audio, where is it? The audio input, but you can't select the output. But you would think that it would just bring it back in, but for some reason it just doesn't. So here's with the headphone on, if you click it. Oh, it did work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, apparently. Normalize. Oh, sweet. Okay. All right, so the hopes is then if this is working, let's just try this. I put in the sequence. If you go into the keyboard here where I was showing you guys, you can play. Hold on. Click there. Here's the sequence. So you'll watch if I click here, it's going to play all the way through. It's running through here. All right. So now the goal is, can we sample that back in here? And we can. Now that's amazing, because it wasn't, before when I was trying, I couldn't get it to work. But look, you can, which means that you can now use the effect. So if you want the cassette sim on, turn it on, press play. Oh, make sure you don't hit record too. That's going to mess it up, because now it's going to record back into here, which we don't want. I think I might have hit record by mistake. We're going to use this, right, to sequence in here. So now if I press this, and then go normalize. So we'll just have to take this end piece off here like so, crop it, and now you have a perfect loop. Oops. There you go. Now that's with the cassette on. You could, if you got the cassette on, you could adjust how much of it you want. I guess the alias and stuff, but that's the noise. So there's a lot of noise there. Let me get rid of this one. I'm gonna redo it. Now we just record in. All right, go back in it, normalize it. I'm gonna crop the front half so I don't have to worry about that. And then we'll just zoom in and get this last kick here. Boom. Crop that out. Now you have a perfect loop. Adjust the volume accordingly. Now that's with the effect, the cassette on there. You don't have to put the cassette. You could do, let me see. I don't remember how this works. It's been a while since I've done this. Vinyl. So now we'll just run it through vinyl. All right, cool. Crop that front end off. Again, crop this back end and then normalize it. And it automatically has the zero crossing, so you don't have to worry. I love that about Koala, where they added that in. Save some time, right? Now you got the vinyl effect in there. You can do this on your samples too. So it's up to you how you want to use it. So you could build your parts using this as like a helper tool in here. Basically, you're just helping using the MIDI portion to control your samples. And then you can rock like that. If you don't want to do that, I mean, of course, you can use the keyboard in here, down here, if you want to chop samples. But you could also chop in here like I did and just bring them back into here and get the effect sent into it. You could bake that effect in, because technically you could have this effect on while you're doing it and bake it in and then just send it back. You don't have to do it the way I just did it. It's up to you. There's so many workflows. I mean, goodness, you just figure out what you like and do it, right? No need to have explanation for everything. All right, so using the MIDI can be super helpful if you got the P6. Now that you can put your samples across all these pads and you have access to it, you basically, what is that, 8? You got 48 samples you can have. So you can have up to 48 samples, open up the keyboard, do all your sampling on there, and then just have it triggering here using the samples, which means that you extended your 4 bars that you had in here. You only get 4 in here, to where you could have it running as many as you want. It's unlimited amount of bars, okay? And that's bars just saying it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, unlimited amount of bars by using something like Koala. All right, that's it for this video. That vinyl effect's still going. I'm gonna turn it off and I'm out.